This episode of Nuff Said is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started.
Hey heroes, it's Charlie, the Professor Esser, here on Superconnectivity, and with me as always is the bashful, blue-eyed bruiser of the Burger of Pits.
Ben Grimm, Phil, me, and Perich.
No, he's the bashful, blue-eyed bruiser of Yancey Street. But you are the
It's
Pittsburgh
podcasting
Punisher.
time. It's podcasting time.
Yes. We got to think of a good wrestling name for you, Philip. Kid Pittsburgh. There we go. That was easy. Yes. And Maz will be very... If Lilith comes in August, Maz will be all down to go to Pittsburgh with me. We all go to the Burg of Pitts.
Nice.
You know, see where Jim Shooter started it all. Okay. That's my Iron City beer. Hey, heroes. Welcome to what we shall now call the first post-Endgame era of the podcasting world. Okay, here's the thing about Endgame. Everyone's like, oh, it's the end of this whole arc, and what are they going to do? Are they going to do anything? Is it going to be? Are they ever going to do this? And the answer, of course, is yes. Of course, they are. They are going to continue on. And here's my big. Okay, I've been saying this for a while now, and I want to say, I probably said it once last week, I'll say it again. They did not stop production on Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is going to come out as a surprise drop in their schedule.
Yeah.
Because it's shot, it's ready to go. Because they'd already started shooting on it when the scandal broke. And you're going to see, and the entire firing of gun thing was just so that they could divert attention away from the big spoiler, Lebowski Thor. Yeah, good old Lebowski Thor. And big prediction, Thor is going to stay, they may not put him in a full fat suit, but he's going to stay relaxed. This is who he is, man. He's got a beard, he's got a little belly. He is happy to be not working out for that week, you know? And Star-Lord is still going to be just as anxious about him.
Or is there going to be some kind of something in the movie, you know, where Thor has to get in shape, either to save somebody or do something, or are they going to have like a Rocky-like montage?
No.
No?
No, expressly because, no, I don't think so. Either you have him be in shape at the start of the movie because he started to work out more, or you just have him Volstagg it up.
Uh-huh.
And my money's on the Volstagging it up, you know? I think they dusted off that old... I think that's why they called Volstagg. They needed the suit. So we can't have Volstagg. We only bought one suit.
We need one Volstagg.
Yes, we need one Volstagg. So, yeah, I think the Asgardians of the Galaxy. In fact, I think that is what Volume 3 is going to be, is the Asgardians of the Galaxy. And if it's the Asgardians of the Galaxy, do you know who we might get? Now that time and space has been all wonked up?
Loki?
Kid Loki.
Oh, yeah.
Justin Esser is polishing off his horns right now. He's available. Very reasonably priced, too, let me tell you. Yeah, well, it's his first film, so of course he knows he's not going to bring in Chris Evans money the first time, but, you know, he's willing to sign a 5-picture deal if he gets script approval. I'm his agent and manager. I'm his dad-agenter, which actually I don't think you can be both a manager and an agent, a manager and an agent. That's a rule.
Dad, did you know Rocket's not real?
I thought he was a Build-A-Bear. Oh, so much good in that movie. This thing of all the stuff we haven't talked about, and there is just too much, but I do love everything about Endgame. I will probably see it again tomorrow. And, cause it is Back to the Future level good. Just that simple. But my point is that our next film is going to be, in about a month, it's going to be, not Far From Home. Yeah, Far From Home. That is what it's called. Yeah. It's called Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home. And, you know, that they say this is going to be the actual last part of Phase 3 or Phase 4 or whatever it is. And I think it does set up Phase 5. Or which phase are we in now?
Is this 3 or... Yeah, I can't remember.
Here's my big predictions. Prediction 1. We may get Kid Loki in that. Maybe not big, but maybe a little subtle.
Maybe he's disguised as Fury.
Oh, well, no. Well, actually, what I was going to say is the Kid Loki is just basically, it's some random kid in his class who's a real... Because you're going to have new kids, obviously, because not everyone got snapped. And the people that didn't get snapped still had kids, as we saw. So, there's some kids that are going to be coming in who are post-snap people who are now that age. And so, basically, birth records are nuts right now. So it's a perfect time for a time-traveling Asgardian to slip right in. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's there. And I think we're going to get our first hints at the Time War that's coming.
Okay, Spider-Man Far From Home is the end of Phase 3.
Mm-hmm. And which also makes it the beginning of Phase 4. So there we go. And Phase 4 will be, mark my words, Philip, it will be the Kang War, or the Time War, or the Immortus Saga, or something.
Before Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Well, Guardians of the Galaxy will tie into it, too. It might just be a short thing at the end, It's end credits. They're going to bring those back, They're going to bring those back because why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And as people have said, really, the Asgardians of the Galaxy scene was the end credit scene, but they felt, we don't want to tack something on to the end of this. This is such a epic thing. Oh, by the way, favorite thing about this is when they had all the actors sign the film.
Like Star Trek.
Like the central actors, yes. He had like Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans. Star Trek did that?
I believe, they said it then. What was it? After Star Trek 6, whatever that last one is with all that original cast. I think Shatner and all them did that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a good idea. It was nice because it's like signing the art. It's really beautiful and puts a nice cap on all those stories. Although, like I said, they're not done with Chris Evans yet.
Well, they already said he's going to do a voice in What If.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Old Man Cap's going to have a few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to be trotting him out. I think he's probably going to do cameos in the Captain America and Bucky film series that we're going to be getting.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it's going to be called. Okay? It's going to be called Captain America and Bucky. And you know why? Because Bucky is a sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
And the Falcon was never a sidekick.
That's right.
Do you know how you know? Because he has a "the" in his name. Sidekicks never have "the."
Oh, nice.
Yes, so really you could almost argue that Captain America was the Falcon's sidekick. But Captain America got type billing, so it was Captain America and the Falcon. But it was always the Falcon, not just Falcon. So
I wonder how much they're gonna tie stuff in on Disney Plus, because if we get like now Captain America and Bucky series with Sam has the shield, I wonder if they'll do a What If episode where what if he had given the shield to Bucky and they show the disastrous results of that.
Yes, well, Well, we already saw that now. Yeah, I mean, well, and like I said, why does everyone want to force Bucky into stuff he doesn't want to do?
I'm just saying as a what if, just so why Sam, just enforce why Sam was the better choice.
Yes, well, maybe they will. Maybe they will. And the main thing I gotta do when I see this film again is I gotta watch to see, does Cap have a broken shield when he goes back in time? Actually, I didn't even think he brought his shield when he went back in time.
Yeah, I mean,
that was the thing. So
I only saw the movie once, but I don't remember seeing a shield on him,
Yeah, I think he actually stole the shield when he got back, I think he's probably been hanging out in the background for like the last, for that whole. He probably comes back just before the big Thanos fight, just to say, "Wow, I wonder what that looks like when everyone comes back to life." Oh, this is so cool. Also, kind of fascinating that no one was standing where the Avengers compound was when they came back. It's not like you saw the lawnmower guy just go, "What the heck?" Because they didn't have anyone mowing the lawns recently because half the world disappeared.
Yeah, but I mean, that was like, they were experimenting with the snap and everything. You think they told everyone to clear the compound though too?
Well, no, but the people that got brought back, so no one was on the compound. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like clearly they had evacuated the compound. Maybe they evacuated Headcanon. They evacuated the compound when everyone went to Wakanda. Basically, it was a deserted compound at the time. So we'll give you that. Why we don't know, but that's okay. And yeah, it's It's a good film, but I think that he basically, he either stole his shield, got it fixed after he got back to that universe, or he actually stole the shield off of the cap that was frozen in ice when he went back in time to be with Peggy. Which is also kind of maybe like that's what I think is like the real, I don't think he was with Peggy. I think he had one dance with Peggy, then realized, oh, there's a real Captain America in this universe who doesn't have to be frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And then he brought that cap back, and then, wound up with, I don't know, let's say, Betsy Ross.
I mean, I thought that maybe he was going to be the original timeline, but I swear that somewhere they said the Russo brothers said, no, he went back, he created an alternate timeline. So, yeah. I mean, if that's an alternate timeline, anything goes. I mean, we could get something somewhere, Disney Plus, a movie, something with Chris Evans as Captain America, in the 50s or 60s in that timeline.
Oh, yeah. Well, but what I'm saying is that it would be a total jerk move to go back in time, be a time travel duplicate, strip your girl, who was actually the other time travel guy's girl, when Cap's unfroze, like, oh, no, well, you came back in time, and we've been doing it the whole time, and sorry, loser. I think, so I think he did the noble thing. He said, this is where we eventually found me. Let's dig me out. Mm-hmm. And then he can have his life. And then he just said, I don't know what I'm going to do. And maybe he did some superheroing on the side. He said, oh, yeah, Hydra, let's go stomp them out. Let's go find two more, as they say. And, I don't think he stayed in that timeline with Peggy Carter, because if he did, then that meant he left. Unless maybe they looked for himself for like a few years, and then they said, well, we can't find me. Got to wait for the ice to naturally shift,
But the shield's easy. I think he just came back and stole it out of Tony's garage again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Maybe he had maybe he had Tony fix it, so he came back to the present. It's in the garage again. So.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Maybe he fixed it in that whole time. Because maybe he says, "Yeah, I'll work on it," or maybe Shuri fixed it and says, "Oh yeah, let me do that for you." I'm waiting for them to bring back Vision, and I think bringing back Vision is going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Benny, you can have whatever you want.
So do you think they're going to bring Vision back in that Scarlet Witch series? Is that?
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely, and I think it's going to be an issue where it's going to be that thing where it's going to be your classic thing where he's back, but he's changed now, and he does remember what they had, but also it's not the same. And then you're going to have Simon Williams show up, and you're going to have a whole storyline with there, or maybe you're going to do a little something. Who she was. Now she's dating Brother Voodoo. So, and we know we're getting Brother Voodoo eventually, or Dr. Voodoo, sorry. He did earn his meaningful honorific of Doctor, unlike that dropout Doom, who is just an affront to the world of academia, because he is not a doctor. He probably has a doctorate from Von Doom University, fake school. Probably full of professors. Yes. Anyway.
So should we jump to the news we didn't get to last week?
Sure. What news didn't we get to last week?
Well, not news, but I mean the show, the Orville, the season finale of the Orville.
Oh, yes. Time travel shenanigans. And I like that they have different rules for time travel than the Orville, than other things do, because obviously they go by Back to the Future rules, which means that you can alter your own past, which causes you to disappear. You can be wiped out by paradox, which is interesting. Would you like some chips with those chips? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Sit down. Whatever you want to. You can change the channel. Go have fun. Oh, okay. Fine. You can take the black chips. Just leave in my comic books in case we actually decide to talk about those again. Okay. Love you too, Benjamin. I have a lot of kids. Well, I have two, and that's a lot. Yes.
Take care of my kids.
I take care of my kids.
I know.
They are all fed, and sometimes they're clothed. But that's a choice, not a lack of effort.
So the Orville, they have like one timeline. So you go back and change something, you're changing everything.
Yes, yeah, and that is neat, and also means time travel is super, super dangerous. But it also means now that they have interesting weapons they can utilize. Now, because they have cracked time travel, and as far as we know, the Kalons haven't.
Yeah.
They actually could change Kalon history.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here's a crazy thought. What if you go back time and then you convince the Kalons not to go to war with their creators because originally the Kalons simply wanted, emancipation. And it was because their creators refused to give them emancipation that things ended poorly.
Or equal rights or something. Yeah.
I don't think eagles should have rights. They're birds, not humans. That's my opinion. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind.
But I love the guest appearance we got in the alternate timeline.
Yes, the former security officer, our Yar moment.
Yes.
And poor Yaphet got hit and lost a little of his memory. Yaphet's cool. And they all died horribly. So that's a thought. And Portis is the last crew member. He's kept it
living on the bottom of the ocean in the ship. Yeah,
that's hardcore, man. Portis is hardcore, and he totally is the very model of a modern major general. I mean, he is that. And I knew I was waiting for Bortus to show up because I knew Bortus had to show up somewhere.
Oh yeah, because I was thinking when they were all on the shuttle at one point, I was like, "Where's Bortus at?" And then when they were just like, "Oh, there's one life sign on the ship at the bottom of the ocean," I'm like, "Oh, it's Bortus."
Yes. Part of it was actually thinking it was going to be what's his name, Isaac, and that Isaac kind of had gone kind of crazy because of betraying his friends. Well,
his consciousness was uploaded to
yes. And deactivated, yeah. So he got, that was cool when they basically hacked and again, these things where it's like, man, it does not look like it's that. They don't seem nearly as superior as they like to imply they are.
Mm-hmm.
They really seem like the kind of culture that could be destroyed by a little bit of Mocklin porn. I think we get that. Well, was that Yaphet's friend or the big-headed guy's friend or cousin who did the porn? I forget who.
I forget one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was one of those two. And when it was one of their cousins was the guy who gave them the porn. And man, you just got to think that, they're like, these are computers and like computer viruses. That's our thing, and we create all kinds of things to bring down networks. And you realize, but of course, the real thing is that it's like, if you had that weapon that could destroy the Kalons, would it be morally right to use it? Think about that for a moment. And what if Isaac actually, reverse engineers the Mocklin porn virus and, says, I think we could destroy all Kalons with this. And it's like, well, we can't destroy all Kalons.
I was wondering if they're going to try to figure out a way to, like, send knowledge into the original timeline, because they did find a way to hack that Kalon, their whole system.
Yes. Well, and who knows? It was...
Or unless Lamar figures it out again in the original timeline. He's like, wait a minute, I have a sense of deja vu.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing, is that Lamar is smart enough to do that,
Mm-hmm. Well, he did it in the other timeline, so why
exactly, not? Yeah. Well, that is what's great about humans, because in the stories we tell about ourselves and how awesome we are. Yeah, you realize that pretty much every science fiction story is either humans are the most awesome things ever, or we are nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because but actually, and usually when it starts off, we are nothing. It's because, but actually, we're awesome. Because we always win in the end. Because we're God's favorite. Yay, humans! Oh, I'm a human. How about you, Phil?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I am a human. I am not.
I'm a human being.
Yes. I am a human from the planet Human.
From the planet Houston.
Yes, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, and I knew the minute, and I guess apparently that was what was it about the scavengers wearing your skin as suits? That's like a reference to Firefly, or yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch that show, so
yeah, neither did I.
Okay, so we're like the two nerds who didn't watch. We're like, how are you not a brown coat? I don't even know what that means. Is that like a leather jacket? They just wear leather jackets and they call themselves brown coats? Or I don't know. It's all crazy.
We got a replicator or whatever, and you made a Twinkie? Yeah, you want half? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, well, of course. Not for nothing, man. I mean, yeah, why not make a Twinkie? I mean, part of you's thinking, well, steak and potatoes, but really, Twinkie sounds good to me, Mm-hmm. And they got a replicator back, which is good, because you need those to survive. And, yeah, man, it was sad how their lives turned out when they didn't have each other.
Well, Earth was gone, too.
Yeah. Although what's weird to that concept is that Kelly had knowledge of the future, but didn't share it. So she already disrupts the timeline. Like, at what point does she not say, when they make contact with the Kalons, oh, we just think you should know this is how this is going to turn out. I'm from the future. Although maybe they'd probably lock her up like they always do, time travelers,
Yeah.
Like, oh, poor Kelly. She was such a promising young commander, and now she's crazy.
Yeah, but how much knowledge did she have of the Kalons, though?
Well, I mean, she'd know when she knows what happened, because she knows. Yes. She knows because she read all of her own journals, so I'm sure she wrote. And then the Kalons attacked. Kalon Raiders attacked. Yeah, and I'm fascinated to see what they're going to do next season with the Kalons, because it's interesting how they've sort of created a status quo and then immediately turned it on its head. Mm-hmm. Where now we've got this two-front war, except it's not a two-front war, but now we're allying with the Krill against the Kalons. But we also already know the Krill are in their own two-front war. So have we, it's like the U.S. siding with the Soviet Union against the Germans, was that a good idea? And then, obviously we have to stop the Germans, but, now what do we do with the Soviet Union? And it gets crazy, kids. It gets crazy. And I guarantee you we're going to see those people who are at war with the Krill that the Union had never met. And we're going to find out, oh, yeah, it's because the Krill are awful, awful human beings that have been slaughtering this other race. That they actually want to be allies. They would actually have been perfect allies against the Krill. But, they sided with the Krill and they're going to say, how can you side with the Krill? The Krill are monsters. Yeah, but so are the Kalons. It's like, really? No. They look like robots to us. Have you tried unplugging them?
Unplug them and plug them back in.
Yeah, worked for Isaac.
Yeah, but no, the whole thing with Kelly, I'm just thinking, I wonder if she went back with incomplete memories, because remember the doctor tried that treatment to erase her whole memory of that timeline, and of course it didn't work, but
because she's missing a protein or something. But we injected her because we actually send the doctor back, injects her with a protein, and wipes her memory.
Yep, and once it works, the doctor disappears.
And all of the accoutrement. Mm-hmm. Which raises that question: would that have any effect on her memory wipe? And fun fact, that makes it a memory wipe, but arguably the memories may still be there inside her head somewhere. Of course, all she knows is what she would already know at that point. So it becomes basically she won't have future knowledge to bring, because she doesn't know what the doctor knows when she came back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, by the way, I'm so mad that because I realized something. Back to the Future and Jughead the Hunger versus Vampironica, which I probably will be bringing up, and the Back to the Futuring of the vampires in it. I'm wondering if they're going to bring in the Jughead Time Cop continuity into this. Because remember, Jughead used to be a time-traveling time cop of the Jughead Time Authority or something. It was odd. That's really, yes, that's who should be in charge of all of space-time, is a million Jugheads. Anyway.
Oh, hey, I want to bring up something interesting. You didn't read Marvel Team Up number 2, did you?
No, I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, Peter Parker and Kamala Khan have been body swapped, and they keep jumping back and forth. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning of the story, Peter in Kamala's body says, my last body swap experience was less than positive, meaning the auto thing.
Yes.
And Peter says, so I implanted a chip in myself that's supposed to block hippocampal interference body swap defense system. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's what messing with them, but Peter has a chip in his head now to try to,
That does not sound like that was something he got done at a reputable clinic. I mean, I'm sure Reed Richards did that for him, you know.
Well, that could have been in Parker Industry days, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, because that was Doc Ock Parker Industry days.
Well, no, he had after they came back. I mean, he had Parker Industries for a while. I mean, he could have hired like the best neurosurgeon in the world. He had some money for a little bit.
Or actually, probably, if you really want to be smart on it, probably Dr. Octopus put that in to prevent Peter from ever switching him back.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, see, that makes a lot. That is a Dr. Octopus move right there.
Yeah.
You know, yes, probably it's like one way. It's like you can get the brain in, but you can't get a brain out, or you can get a brain out, but you can't get a brain in, or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, that's interesting. The idea that Peter now has a chip in his brain. That just is not. That's not a good idea. I'm sorry, it's not a good idea because now you're just gonna make it hard to get MRIs. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Because you like if you like have a screw in your leg, you can't get an MRI, I guess, because it like rips the screws out of your leg. At least that's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true. I think they have ways to like counteract that now, but yeah.
But yeah, it's just funny the two of them trying to figure out each other's powers and each other's lives and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does sound interesting. Yeah, I don't know, teenagers and body swaps and gender swaps. I just think that's. Because, you know, they both are going to have to go to the bathroom at some point. And it's just going to be weird.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, I know it's my body, but I shouldn't look at someone else's body. That would be creepy. But how am I going to do what I have to do without being aware of what I'm doing, you know? So, how do you even use one of these things? I'm just saying. It might be harder than it looks, you know? You never think about that, you know? It's, you know, when... Because, you know, even Peter is uncomfortable. He didn't even really go into it. Well, did he? Yeah, he taught the Beyonder how to use the bathroom. So maybe he had to have that talk with Kamala. You know?
But it's so funny, like, you know, she's like, oh, I'm an adult. So she goes out and, like, buys scratch-off tickets and stuff. And then she's like, bills? She's like, what's all these bills? She's like, there's bills for stuff I didn't even know had bills.
Wait, how? Okay, So, like, they're just gonna go live each other's lives?
Well, no, they're like, you know, we can't just, like, ignore our lives until we figure this out, because, like, she's like, oh, I have a bio, presentation, and he's like, oh, well, lucky for you, I'm a scientist, and I can breeze right through that.
Yeah, well, sure, but he probably messes it up.
Well, no, but I think she gets Kamala gets, accused of plagiarizing Peter Parker.
Oh, yes, there we go. Well, I'm sure she already has all the notes, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, no, just follow my notes, Peter. Don't ad-lib.
They're just trying to find the scientist who, you know, invented the MacGuffin that transferred them, and, you know, the Jackal has her kidnapped somewhere, so.
Yeah, well, has who kidnapped? Peter kidnapped or Kamala kidnapped? Or, like, the body or the mind, so. And why don't they just call Otto? That's sort of like what he does. Like, yeah, I got my mind switched. I think you could help us out here. It's like, oh, of course, Peter. I am the superior Spider-Man after all. Always happy to oblige.
What's this faulty chip in your head?
Yeah, yes, well, who installed this? This is not... Parker Industries. Oh, that place went downhill after I left. No, who knows? But, I mean, it sounds fun. I mean, honestly, it's... Oh, you know, talking about the prescience of Marvel Comics and, you know, the words of wisdom from our dear leader Stan Lee. They're printing all of his old soapboxes.
Oh, yeah.
And this week it was about how everyone's mad that we published so many books. But even when we charge you 25 whole cents for them, you guys keep on buying them. So, it is fascinating that basically the Too Many Books issue has been around for a while. We have all been feeling the too many.
That'd be so fun. That's so funny back day. Probably, you will expect us to buy 10 whole comics a month? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's because I can't. Oh, there it is. This might be a different one, but yeah, I mean they're all great. I love these Stan soapboxes. I used to love them as a kid. I'm glad that we have them back, even if it is for a sad reason. I would love if they keep them on going. Did you read Champions?
No. I plan on it, but not yet.
Oh, okay, well, I won't spoil it for you then. But it's good. It's good. And we got, you know, Cyclops back with his old team, the Champions. You know,
as an adult, yeah.
As an adult now.
You know what we mentioned last night we really didn't get into much? Savage Avengers.
Yes, Savage Avengers. I like the fact that Wolverine says, you're one of Kazar's friends? He's like, I don't know a Kazar.
You dress like...
Hey, it's a big Savage Land, not for nothing. It's a big Savage Land. So there may be all kinds of people in the Savage Land that never meet each other. And I love that basically the Hand gets, and again,
stupidest.
Yeah, are they not, is the Hand just not good at their jobs? Because they see, not for nothing, Conan the Barbarian is taking them out. Conan, who has no formal training and is literally just a barbarian. Literally, I am just going to hack you till you fall down. Even if I have to do that to Wolverine, which I do.
Well, and they want to bring, and the Hand wants to lure the Punisher in, but they do it in the stupidest way.
Well, any way you want to lure the Punisher in is a stupid way to lure the Punisher in. You don't lure the Punisher in.
Yeah, but they're bringing him in at his most angriest, too, because spoilers, they dig up his dead wife. It's like, okay, if you want him very, very, at his angriest, okay, maybe.
Yeah, but... and it's like, okay, we've stolen your wife and kids. Here's where you can find us. And he is not going to like that. And I really hope they actually bring Conan to New York eventually, because I do want to see Conan back in pants and a shirt. Because he only wears a loincloth just because that's what everyone wore at the time. But he's worn like fancy robes when he wanted to. He can wear clothing, and he is an adapter, And they talk a lot about him being a barbarian, but the fact of the matter is he spent a lot of time in cities throughout his career as well, So I'm a big fan of Conan the Barbarian in this. Although I do think that it's kind of I don't know how he's taking a hit from Wolverine and getting back up. It's like Wolverine's hitting him with the claws. Clearly, I guess he probably leapt back as he probably rolled with it, so it's like the claws never really got on him, and he is basically really kicking. I think he, and really it looks like he would have totally killed Wolverine had Wolverine not had a lot of healing factor, which of course is pretty much true of everything.
Well, yeah, because he puts a sword through his head, and he's like,
yeah, and then he goes finds the wine cellar because that's where you're going to do it. And yeah, I don't know. I just I like it. I like that Conan is I'm just here to steal some stuff, man.
No.
Although, again, what does he want with this bejeweled amulet in the Savage Land? Of course, I guess there are people in the Savage Land. There are kinds of like other tribes of beings in the Savage Land, so probably there is some kind of an economy there. So it doesn't make that much. It's not that odd of a story. But, yeah. And we're doing our blood sacrifice to raise this creature to... So last time we did it, of course, he killed us all. But this time we know we figured it out.
The Marrow God, does he look familiar? Does it look like Venom or something?
I thought you were going to say the Batman Who Laughs.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the other thing I don't like about the Batman Who Laughs is that his character design is so derivative of every body horror nightmare kind of character. Yeah, I mean, he looks maybe he's supposed to be like Null or something, but he's your typical faceless god. I mean, he looks a lot like the Nameless in Justice League Dark too, just big mouth, no face, basic Slender Man design.
So I just wonder if the Hand's going to make their second mistake and try to kidnap Venom and be like, oh, you're our god, we'll try to wake you up, and
Yeah, well, Venom's a part of this, not the good Venom, but, the Eddie Brock Venom. I'm sorry, of all the Venoms, Eddie Brock, I think, is the least interesting of the Venoms. That's just my opinion. I think even Matt Gargan was Gargan. Matt Gargan was a more interesting Venom. Just because, he was the Scorpion, man. Makes sense. Scorpion Venom is a really and if you're gonna have a villainous Venom, who better than the Scorpion? I was like it because, of course, Scorpion was kind of a workaday villain. Actually, not even really a villain until he gets driven mad by the Scorpion serum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was just a private investigator, man.
Hired by Jameson, yep.
Hired by Jameson, just some tough guy, and so it goes. So yeah, but we're getting our Venom in this. We got Elektra, I guess. That is Elektra. We do know that's Elektra. Yeah. And even though, so got to see how they bring Dr. Voodoo back in all of this, because he gets his throat slashed, and our Placido Pavarotti certainly didn't fare that well from getting his throat slashed. So, of course, in that one they actually take off the guy's whole head, not just his throat. So, you actually see So for whatever reason they're doing something different with Dr. Voodoo, so we can assume Dr. Voodoo survives. And again, the hand just getting totally owned by Conan. It is, yeah. But he fights against death every day. That's his whole shtick. I should not be alive. Although, I guess this sort of probably predates when Redbeard was temporarily immortal too, because he did have a friend in the color comics by the name of Redbeard. Who fell into a magic egg that gave him life for 1,000 years. But it also meant he could not die, and it really started to mess with his head. Because it just seemed like, what's the point of living if I can't die? Where's the fun in that? Yeah, but it's just like, and I say this a million times. You live in a superhero. If I lived in a superheroic universe, I would be the most cautious guy ever. I'm already a cautious guy because I live in a world that has guns and people who know karate. And I do not have a gun, and I do not know karate. And although I think I can find myself in a barroom brawl if it ever came down to it, I don't pick fights because I don't know what you know. And I know there are people that
you'd be putting a chip in your head.
Yeah, well, not just that. I wouldn't pick fights. I wouldn't, if someone is sitting on the bus talking to himself, I would do what I do now. I would not pick a fight with that guy like they do in the Punisher series, I wouldn't be sitting there going, hey, person, I'm going to make myself feel big by making you feel small. In the real world, you don't do that because he could be a psycho with a knife.
I know.
You don't, it's like, in no universe, especially not one with superpowers, do you do that. Exactly. Some people have death wish, I guess. It's a death cult. So I guess maybe hey, worst case scenario, he kills us all and ends our eternal suffering. So, yay, Punisher. Supervillains are their own worst enemies. Did not get the chance to read Meet the Skrulls yet, but I am looking forward to it. I do like the Meet the Skrulls book. I really want to see them do more with the Trolls. I'm really hoping the Trolls do that face turn in War of the Realms, because you think back that Thor was saying several issues ago about how if he were king of Asgard, he'd try and find a place for the Trolls because he thinks that's why the Trolls are so angry, because they've been driven out of every realm, and that's the truth of it. They've been driven out of every realm, so of course they're angry. If you were driven out of every place, if no one said your kind is not welcome here, you'd probably turn to eating babies too. Well, maybe not eating babies, but Oh, yeah. And I hope they bring back that character from the Thunderbolts, who was the little Asgardian girl raised by trolls. I can't remember her name. But...
Oh, yeah. I forget her name too, but yeah.
Yeah, she has an Asgardian name, but she just has everyone call her Troll. She is Troll. And I hope she comes back and, maybe convinces the Trolls to join the Asgardians. Says, no, we should be friends with them. No, okay. We just want Australia. And I'm sure the Australians will be like, all right, mate, why not? If you want to face off against kangaroos and devil spiders, that's your fault. It is a land that wants to kill you. Or so the memes on the internet have told me. Anyway. What else is going on, Phil? Any more comic books you want to talk?
I don't think I had anything else.
What did I read? I mean, I read a few of them. Read War of the Realms. I did not get to read the Spider-Man yet with the Vulture on the cover.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I'm sure it was. Wait, you want to tell me about it?
I mean, it's just it's one of those. It's number 20 HU, so it's another one of those character studies.
Oh,
okay. It's all about the Vulture.
Is this where he betrays the? Does this take place in the past or in the current, leading the troops against the bad guys?
It's mostly in the present because he has like a little sit down with Arcade, and Arcade's like, yeah, this is turning into a massacre, and here's a device that'll help you and the others get out. Because I like games with a sporting chance. That's my MO and stuff.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, it turns out it's just a trap that him and Kraven put together.
Yeah. Well, and we do know that Kraven wants these supervillains to kill the hunters,
I think he wants them all to kill each other.
Well, yeah, of course, that's the whole idea.
Yep.
Wild animals in a cage. Let's see who fights. Which is kind of, honestly, I've never been that impressed by Kraven the Hunter. I really have not. I liked him better when Squirrel Girl was dealing with him. Oh, but that just makes him...
I think they're trying. Everyone's trying to find the Kraven story. I mean, Kraven's last time was the best one, and that's the one where he kills himself. But
maybe they should have left him stay dead.
I know they should have. They kept trying to bring in like sons to take his place, and I don't think never really took.
Well, because it's kind of what. Here's the thing: the most dangerous game. It's a very old book at this point. It's a story that's been told and retold a million times, and at a certain point, it's not like big game hunters are even interesting characters anymore. Even when they're like legitimate big game hunters, like if he had an environmentalist thing or something like that. But it's like, no, he's just a rich jerk who likes to shoot animals and makes him feel big and strong. And it's like, that is in no way a sympathetic villain. And that's the thing. It's like a villain has to be sympathetic. You've got to have a villain that you at least can commiserate with their crazy, It's like even Thanos in his worst is still okay. He's got an idea, he's got a plan. It is about self-aggrandizement, but he has his own moral philosophy. He's got an idea of the universe, and I think they want to do that with Kraven, but they're not really doing much with it because the idea is, when you take on the animal's totem, you should respect that. And it's like, really? You're going to lecture the spiders on the spiritual ties to their totems? Really, Kraven? That just makes you look like a jerk, And I know you haven't read these books, but we all have. And not for nothing, hey, who's notably absent in all of this? Wolverine. Oh. Obviously, Taskmaster and Blackhead said, you know what? We're not going to get you a Wolverine. Like a gibbon, we'll get you 6 gibbons. That's fine.
Unless the timeline's a little wonky and they don't know he's back yet, or they don't know where he's at. Because, Savage Avengers, he's in the Savage Land.
Yeah. Fair enough. And, but I think they'd at least try to get that old man one.
Oh, yeah. Although in his book, he went back. He's already back in his, in his timeline, so.
Yeah. Well, then they could also go get Honey Badger. Or the other Wolverine.
Yeah, I was going to say, were they just like, yeah, we don't want to mess with Logan. No.
Yeah, we're not going to mess with Logan or any of his family.
They're not like the hand. Taskmaster was playing it smart. Yeah, I don't think I want to mess with Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, hey, they didn't even go get a Venom. And although you could say, well, that's kind of in that gray area, so we're not going to mess with that.
Yeah, plus it's an alien symbiote. Is it really an animal toad?
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Yeah, but you can see they mostly went after low-hanging fruit. And I hate that because they do these big massacre spreads. And it's like, don't just kill off a bunch of characters just because they haven't been used. They're not cannon fodder, they're actual characters. You should give them a little more respect. Because not for nothing, all these characters should have some kind of... If Kraven is so about respecting the animal totems, shouldn't he be treating these characters with respect, And, I just don't think it's, they killed the Mandrill in a big splash scene, and the Mandrill's actually kind of a notable villain, He's a creepy as heck villain, but he's a notable villain, He's he's not like a one-off or a joke character. He's actually a legitimate villain, and nope, he just died in a splash page, in the Gibbon splash page too, I think. So there's haven't really read that many of these. So
yeah, I don't know if they just like take villains. They're like, oh, no one's used this guy in a couple of years. Let's kill him.
Yeah, pretty much, and I do think that is literally what they do, and I don't think that's necessarily the best way to do it.
No, because then someone always brings them back.
Well, yeah, but then you got to explain it. And like I said, them doing that to the Gibbon, that really hurts me. And,
yeah, I know.
But I hope that, and as he passes, maybe he will get to go to Monkey World again, which had its own problems, but at least he was normal there.
Mm-hmm.
Could even be a superhero because, granted, he had no particular superpowers beyond just being a lesser ape. That's a very fascinating joke about why he's the Gibbon. Because the Gibbon is the only lesser ape. Because there are the great apes and then there's the lesser apes, but it's really only lesser ape because the Gibbon is the only one. Yeah. Everyone's mean. Anyway. Yeah, so what else is going on in pop culture? Let's see. Well, we have the Hulu shows, which we discussed. And here's my thing. I hope they walk back that whole it's not tied into that universe. I hope they're going to say, no, it is still part of the MCU. Or they want to give us, oh no, actually it's an alternate timeline version, and we establish that this is a different timeline, and this is the timeline where X, Y, and Z happen.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, okay, well I can totally embrace that, But if it's like, well, this isn't the MCU universe where it's its own separate universe, it's like, no, don't do that. It's got to be connected. It has to either all be connected or none of it's connected.
Like I'm thinking, I just wonder if that's just their way of saying, yeah, we're not going to mention any of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff.
Well, yeah, and it's fine if they don't mention it. It's, you have comic books where they don't mention that time that we all hung out last week,
Oh, yeah.
And let's be honest here, they're not going over Kraven's Adventures with Squirrel Girl right now, are they? You can have a story that deals with what it has to deal with and steps away from the past stories, but you don't just outright deny them. And it's that outright denial, like Inhumans did. And then, of course, by the end of it, they were like, oh, maybe it's totally connected, Like, yeah, we know now you want to be part of it. Now that you're floundering, you want to say, no, we're totally a part of the MCU. It's like, you know what? Maybe we don't want you now, So, but I'm really geeked about Hellstrom.
Oh, yeah. I was reading, they had a little description. Was it him and his sister?
Yes.
They're like children of a serial killer or something, and this shows them tracking down the worst of humanity or something.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, so is it going to be mystical in its origins? Or maybe that's the big reveal. Like, they think they're the children of a serial killer, but then they find out that, no, they actually are the children of Satan. And then it's, do they embrace the devil, or do they fight against it?
Or is it both? Maybe did the devil take, like, human form and became one of the worst serial killers in history?
I think everybody needs a vacation. Although I always thought that Satan, when he takes a vacation, should do only good works. Because, like, every day he's tempting people into sin and doing all kinds of evil. Like, no, if he goes on vacation, I want to think he's doing charity work. He's out in the Sudan vaccinating people,
Or what if they reveal they're like, oh, who's their mother? And then what if Satan is their mother?
Oh, that would be fun. There we go. And yeah, maybe Satan is all into serial killers.
Yeah.
I'm excited about Hellstrom. I already have a Hulu subscription, so I don't even have to go nowhere.
Didn't we mention this a while back? That we're like, oh yeah, they should make Hellstrom like the Constantine of the MCU and stuff. And
well, I mean, obviously we've said that, and we're not the only ones to say that, and obviously they knew that.
Yeah.
It's like we know that. It's like we do have 8 million characters. And we're going to give every one of them their own show. Just give us a minute, because not for nothing, they're always, what they're doing, what their biggest problem that they have is like, okay, who are we going to use, where, and when? And not for nothing, that's why, even though they had certain characters in the Netflix universes, they didn't, like, they had Malice, but, was he Carl Malice? I think, or was he some other Malice? No, actually it was Carl Malice. But, and I still say they can bring Carl Malice back. That whole, I was in my lab and it blew up. Like, yeah, that kills people in the Marvel Universe.
It was a clone.
Well, and if nothing else, it's like, oh, I got exposed to all of my dang super bugs now, and now I'm kind of crazy. But I'm still a doctor, just like the current one is, Mm-hmm. Current Malice has got something weird going on with him. I forget what it was, but he's got is it lizard stuff or is it venom stuff stuck in him?
Oh, maybe. I can't remember. Yeah, something like that.
I remember when he was with the real Captain America, when he was doing that whole thing and he turned him into a wolf.
Oh yeah.
Genetic alteration. There was clearly something had gone nuts with him. It's like that kid. He was. I think it's like he's got a tentacle arm now or something. Like that kid in Milo Murphy. You watch Milo Murphy, Phil?
No.
Milo Murphy's a very good show. It's like Phineas and Ferb, but crazier, which I appreciate. And Widow Yankovic is the voice of Milo Murphy. So.
Oh. Yes,
exactly. So that is worth your watching time. It's on season 2 now. Yes. Okay. They defeated the. Well, no spoilers for those who haven't seen it yet. But yeah, go watch it. It's on Disney XD, which is a free downloadable app, and you can watch it all for free. I think, at least if you have cable, anyway, you can. Okay. What else we got to talk about, Philip? I'm not sure. We've covered Endgame a lot. There's so much more to talk about Endgame. Honestly, I could do a whole week about Fat Thor.
I know. I know. I mean, I think we hit a bunch, and we're almost at an hour already. So.
Okay, well, let's call it a night, Phil. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Let's go spend time with our wives and kids. Okay, so Philip, if people would like to talk to you, leave you a voice message, tell you how awesome you are as the bashful blue-eyed bruiser of Pittsburgh, how can they possibly get in touch with you?
Well, if you want to get a hold of me, you can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I'm at nightwingpdp. And remember, you can always follow Capes and Lunatics and Superconnectivity on Facebook, on Twitter, and one voicemail for all, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES.
And if you are a creator, please leave us a message. Tell us about all of your new books that you want to hype. We will give you that airtime for free. You don't even have to come on and talk to me.
You can even be anonymous.
You can be anonymous. If you want to say, I just want to say, Alan Moore is overrated. And I should know I am Alan Moore. You can do that.
Jeez.
Yes. I pick on Alan Moore because he's overrated. And of course, if you would like to talk to me about that, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our Maz and Paz once did, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet things when I'm awake to do so at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Superconnectivity for 1 week. We got out of here a little early so you guys can take the rest of the weekend off. Thank you for connecting with us. Please, super connect with us once again. Good night. Oh, so got plans for the weekend, Philip?
I don't know. Maybe hit up the store for free comic book day.
Oh yeah, dude, we didn't even mention that.
Well, we're mentioning it now. Yeah, because we're recording Saturday for free comic book day.
Yeah, so go get your free comic books, kids, and see what mysteries they reveal.